temperature, humidity, wind, sky, pressure, and precipitation at one moment in time. Climate is what you eat all the time. So for those of you that are into sports, weather is like a single football game. Climate is like an entire football preseason, season, plus the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the big events, all averaged together. Weather is like, what are you wearing today? Or all the clothes in your closet for climate. Changes a lot, especially in Michigan, right? So like moods even, weather is like mood. Climate is like personality. Within the scientific community, it is a relatively well-accepted fact that as global temperatures increase, extreme precipitation will very likely increase as well. But beyond that, we're still learning. So again, it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not like, oh, the Earth is warming, we're all going to be sunny and tropical. No. So as we're figuring out with our better technology what's going to happen, we start to look for experiential things, or just things that have already happened to help to paint the picture of how the climate is shifting. So here are some things that we've actually noticed, and this is from studies from Yale. So the tropics, where we have the worst latitudes, by the way, right up there, are getting wider. So from 1980 to today, they've increased by 0.5 degree to the north. The tropics have moved to the north by 0.5 degree latitude. So if you live in North Carolina, you're starting to feel more tropical weather. The Sahara Desert, the biggest desert in the world since 1902, has increased by 10%. So imagine if you lived on the fringe of this, and your family forever has lived on the fringe of this, and then suddenly your land is no longer good. It's a big setback. It's invaluable now. The 100th meridian, this separates the type of weather that we usually see. So on the west side, we get really arid weather or dry weather, and then on the east side, we get humid weather. That has shifted 100 miles since 1980. Tornado Alley. How many of you guys grew up learning that Tornado Alley was Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska? Yeah. It's not anymore. It's shifted more to Missouri, and Tennessee, and Kentucky, along with Arkansas and Louisiana. That is especially terrifying for a few reasons. One, they're not nearly as prepared or well educated. They don't see as many of the tornadoes as Oklahoma has since 1950. So like Oklahomans know what to do. Two, in Oklahoma, you can see a tornado coming for a ways. There's like no trees out there. That's where we'd go out to go storm chasing in college. But in places like Mississippi and Arkansas, they have a lot of trees and a lot of hills and a lot of moisture. So as you're getting these tornadoes, they're becoming rain-wrapped, which makes them even more difficult to see. So not only has this shifted, it completely changes who's going to be impacted, and it creates a bigger threat in a lot of ways. Hardiness zones, where we can plant our crops, they've all moved north just because it's getting too warm. Permafrost has also shifted to the north. This is a smaller shift, but remember, permafrost is the ground staying frozen all the way down through to depth. So for it to shift, that has to be a massive change in weather over time to create a thawing of the earth that significant of a shift. So one of the ways that we found that's best to talk to your family and friends isn't just throwing data at them, especially because there's so many sources everywhere, and no one knows what to believe. But since weather is experiential, we can be like, it snowed on your birthday. Oh man, we had a stretch of 80s in March. Isn't it weird we had 2 massive flooding events in the last 10 years in Grand Rapids? Isn't it weird that we saw the 2 highest water levels on Lake Michigan in the last 40 years out of the full record set? And people are noticing this. Farmers are noticing it. They'll be the first to tell you that their seasons are shifting and when they can plant. So as you're talking to people about it, you can just be like, weather's experiential, and bring up some of these things. Because ultimately, if we can get everyone on board and start making some changes now, we can have big impacts on the future. And then we can just be more prepared and safe.